What a cozy cast.
Dude, I'm so cozy right now.
These things just feel amazing.
Jake's hood should be on, but
Yeah, it's okay.
he just got a haircut.
Well, we got the two marshmallows, the Wicked Witch of the West.
I'm Dakota
Listen,
Witch.
I did just get a haircut, and the problem was that they're playing Smash.
They're playing Smash up there, aren't they? God, just last week they yelled at us for playing chess. Remember that?
They just yelled at us for playing Smash.
Daniel
for
said,
playing
chess.
and I quote, "This is objectively worse."
Right.
Well, Daniel thinks anything that's not work is bad.
That's true.
That's true.
That is true, unfortunately.
So, and my barber, anyway, I went to my barber and I still had gel in my hair. Worst mistake I've made in a while. Like, never go to the barber pre-washing your hair.
Yeah.
Because they just can't fade it right.
Right.
They just can't,
Can't be
They
done.
could have washed
And
your
it's,
hair.
since I've left LA, the one thing that I could get here was just the finest fades.
Oh, a fresh cut.
Yeah. The fadiest of
My boy
fades.
Gabriel from The Proper in Downey, California, man. Dude,
Gabe, if you're
sponsored
listening.
by.
Sponsored by Gabe.
Yeah.
Downey.
He was amazing. But anyways, so I can't put my hood up because I got...
Wait, do you get it all the way down, or you keep it a little long on the top, right?
He goes, he goes
long
from
on
a
top.
2 to
and then
a 4.
see, but the
Yeah, I
thing
do
is
the same thing.
it just wasn't... I'll be back, Hector. Don't worry. I'm not leaving you.
You know,
Love
when
you,
I
Hector.
when I was a kid and I moved to the Bronx, I didn't know what a shape up was. I went to like a New York barber shop for the first time. And here's me, like this white kid with like Bieber hair. And all these like black kids are like, yo, dude, get a shape up. And I walked up to the barber like, I'll take one shape up, please. And I walked home and I looked like a skinhead Nazi.
Yeah.
And my mom was horrified. And that was the last time I got a
Last shape up
buzz
you
cut.
got.
Yeah.
First and last.
That shaped you
Yeah.
right up.
So most white guys can't really pull off a buzz
No.
cut. I
Yeah.
would say.
It's, you just look angry.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, I've done it a few times. I've buzzed my hair quite a bit, actually. But yeah, I prefer a cut.
I feel like you pull it off.
You pull off a lot of different hairstyles.
I have no mustache.
You don't have your
No
mustache.
one has
No.
said anything.
Yeah.
Well, because you didn't have it last time.
Didn't I?
Did you have it?
No, he came here unstashed
Oh.
last
Did I?
time.
You warmed us
Pretty
up to the
sure.
no stash life.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
What made
They
you
both
decide to finally give it the old axe?
You know, it's actually a lot easier to deal with this way because I
Yeah.
don't have to shave it.
Mm-hmm.
I can just take the clippers and then just and then you're good to go.
True.
So
That's true.
I don't know. Is this episode sponsored by Manscaped, by the way?
Oh, yeah. We're going right into the brand integration.
No, I guess we are now.
Yeah.
How quickly does that guy grow in?
This I just
yeah.
cut this on Sunday, but it was like a no guard.
No, but I mean, like how like from
When
where
is
you're
it
at
gonna get
now,
back?
which is for people who are listening, you know, like a little
Stubble.
stubble. How long does that take to get you to like Tom Selleck?
To Tom Selleck level,
Yeah.
like 3 months,
3 months?
2 to 3 months. Yeah,
Dang.
probably.
Because I just feel like I see you with a mustache so much. I feel like it comes in.
Yeah, like in a
overnight.
week.
Maybe
I thought
it comes in faster. I don't know. I don't keep track.
Hey, you know what's
My hair does grow fast. That's all I know.
This might be interesting. Since we all are like folks that are on camera now a decent amount, do you guys now notice things that you do that you didn't notice before? Because I certainly do. And that
Yeah.
main thing is the mustache. Just like messing with this part of my
you
face.
and Sam do that a
I
lot.
do it like way too much. I see it in like every video. I'm like, I need to stop this, but I just can't. It's like muscle memory to like mess with my beard.
I've gone through phases like that where there's
Yeah.
been little ticks that I've noticed I've do. I'm sure no one else noticed it.
Oh,
but
definitely not.
yeah.
No, it's your own personal journey.
Yeah.
Do you like correct them or?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of them was saying like. too
Oh,
much.
okay. Yeah.
We all do that.
Sure.
It's a real problem.
Mm-hmm.
It's a real problem.
It's just a filler word that helps you like buy some time while you're
I
thinking
feel like
about.
we need to raise
your next-
awareness on the use of the word like too
Yeah.
often. And
Can someone count the amount of times that we've said like in a podcast? That'd
Oh,
be
man.
interesting.
I'll
Yeah.
give you guys a good one. If you want to replace that and sound like super smart, you say sort of.
Oh.
You
You
think?
know, instead of
Sort
like,
of.
say this is sort of a
Sort of.
Sort of.
It's almost
Yeah.
an English
It
thing.
does
like-
sound
Yeah.
better.
it's sort of
But it's
it
essentially the
sounds
same.
sort of better, sort of, you
It
know.
sound yeah.
You could-
and
That
those
would
are,
be
like,
weird though if you said sort of all the time.
Sort
Yeah.
of. They're
Yeah.
like, do you know what you want? I don't know. No.
Sort of.
I would play with my hair a lot.
You play
I would
with your hair.
notice it, and I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
stop. Maybe
You-
that's why I wore this today.
You don't do it as much now because of that?
No, if it's down, it just keeps going like this.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Like,
just
I think it's like
just
how you guys
keeps-
go with this.
messing with. Yeah. Yeah. The longer it gets, the more I mess with it too. So it's very like, I gotta figure out how to. I mean, it's no one's bothered by it
You don't
except
know
me.
that.
Except me.
You
All
don't
right, so
know
there's
that.
a couple of things that we got to talk about in this podcast based on the last podcast, and one
boy.
of them
Oh, geez.
is Dean. This question is for you.
Oh boy.
How much do you like superhero movies?
Oh, like, well, so I am like a massive DC Comics fan. Like,
Okay. Nick called it.
yeah, I like could tell you, like, the name of every Robin. There's been like 5 or 6 Robins from
Yeah.
Batman. I could tell you their entire like backstory. Like, I know way too much about it. Like, I look back on my childhood and I wish I could have slotted in like guitar or piano instead of like I know every like aspect of the DC universe. So I know like way too much about superhero movies.
Okay.
Okay.
Now, knowing that, well, so we had some conversations about the multiverse.
Yeah.
Do you feel like it ruins superheroes
No,
for you?
it, like, you know,
storytelling in
there's
general.
been- superhero comics have been around for 75 years, and one of the, you know, at least in DC Comics, there was sort of a first wave of superheroes, which was like, you know, Superman, Batman, the first Green Lantern, the first Flash, and then as you know, the war came around and comics kind of dipped off a little bit, and then they came back in like the 50s or 60s.
Yeah.
And they were new versions of these characters. So like you had a new Flash, a new Green Lantern, and one of the earliest Flash storylines from this period was the Flash like runs through, because you know the Flash can run super fast, but that also gives him the ability to like vibrate through realities and through time, and he meets the earlier version of the Flash.
Okay.
And this is like a story from, I want to say it's like from the 50s or 60s. So, and from there, first in DC and then also in Marvel, they basically developed a way to change the continuity of these storylines that are running for, you know, again, 70 plus years. They figured out a way to change the continuity while still it making sense in the story universe. And so it's a deep part of the, like, comic book lore, and I think
So you don't feel it's an extreme departure from where we've been?
no, it's like at this point multiverse is like so core to the comic books now. Like both DC and Marvel, like every 5 years they completely reboot everything, and they have to create a storyline to make that make sense. So they're like, oh, freaking Superboy Prime punched reality, and now, you know, like it's
Yeah.
some stupid thing, like the Anti-Monitor is gonna freaking
Right.
diddle everything. And
It's a diddler. Okay.
so
Those damn anti-monitors.
yeah, and there's so yeah, both of these companies have realized now, I think, you know, rightly so, these movies are purely nostalgia. Like these movies are purely for people to be like, that's a thing from my childhood that makes me feel good,
Right.
you know, and they can just do that now to infinity because they, you know, that now they can dig back into Michael Keaton. You know, Michael Keaton's going to be in the new Flash movie as his version of Batman, and like and obviously Marvel's like digging in deep with the
Michael Keaton,
Spider-Man
Batman
stuff.
from the 90s.
From 89,
Yeah.
yeah, no, he's gonna be that character from that movie with the Flash from like the, you know, the newest Justice League movie. So it's
Okay.
like it's you know, in a similar storyline where Flash accidentally, he's like trying to change the timeline and he accidentally messes it up, and
Yeah.
so yeah, I think it's like a core part of comics, and it, you know, obviously from a business perspective, it makes sense for these
Mhm.
companies, you know.
Well, let me ask you this because I asked it on the last cast as well, and didn't really dive too deep into it. But let me see what you think about this. Is originality lost when you like rehash all these characters and like
I think with the movies, there's certainly a chance for that to happen, because whereas in comic books you have a new storyline every week, right? And so that goes on for years and years. So you have like hundreds of stories, and then you do like the multiverse story where you meet this old version of the character or something. It feels like with the movies, they almost haven't really earned a lot of that stuff yet, which is my only like hesitation with it, is it feels like they haven't really sort of like earned the right to jump back in time, because it's like Andrew Garfield was Spider-Man like not that long ago, you know?
Yeah.
Like, so I don't really, you know.
Too fast.
Yeah, it's a little, again, like, and I've always felt this way about superhero movies in Hollywood, is like, they made, you guys have seen Watchmen with, Zack Snyder's Watchmen. They made that movie in 2009, which is like, Watchmen as a story is like a complete deconstruction of the superhero genre.
Yeah.
And they made it like before the Avengers came out. So it's like the superhero genre wasn't even a thing as much, as it is today. And they made the storyline that deconstructs all superhero movies. And it's the same thing Marvel did the Civil War arc in the movies, which is like, you need to sit, like, this Marvel universe has to be around for a while before you have like them all have the internal conflict. And it felt like,
I feel you.
we're only like 2 Avengers into this.
I think that's just because they turned movies into shows, though.
Yeah, no, and I think that's why people respond so strongly to the Marvel movies, is because like they get so invested in the characters and their continuing storylines. And if you notice, there's no solo movies anymore. Like every solo movie in quotations is, here's Captain Marvel's in the background, or like Sam Jackson, they throw him in there, or like they throw Sam Jackson in every one of them now.
Just put him in.
Yeah.
He's going to make the movie better.
So they're never going to, they'll never make a like, well, things, there's actually some interesting drama with Spider-Man. They might actually like Sony might be ripping Tom Holland's Spider-Man out of the Marvel universe, because obviously they own the character and are licensing him out to Marvel Studios to be in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Okay. But there are theories that this new movie is actually a way to reset Tom Holland's like character in a just Spider-Man universe
to give him No Way Home.
To give him literally, he has no way home.
Roll credits.
So because there's just, there's some like drama, Sony kind of wants the character back to, they did the Venom movies, and the Venom movies have been pretty successful. And
Sony has nothing else now.
That's it. They got Spider-Man, and I hope that they get Spider-Man back for a little bit, just so they can completely waste him again, so that they'll have to give him back to Marvel. Because like they've been on their own trying to build out this like Spider-Man universe, just like Spider-Man characters universe. And the big new movie they got coming out is Morbius with Jared Leto. You love Morbius, right?
Yeah.
Morbius.
Yeah.
The vampire guy.
Oh, the vampire guy. Okay.
Morbius,
How
guys.
much history
fellow
Do you
kids
guys
have
know about Morbius?
with Morbius?
The vampire guy.
Yeah.
This is a thing.
Yeah, it was supposed to come out last year. It was one of those like COVID movies that got pushed. It looks awful, and it's like, but they like every trailer has like this Morbius character's walking around. There's like a poster of Spider-Man in the back.
Yeah.
And it's like really no relation to Spider-Man at all.
Just like,
They're
hey guys.
just like, hey, it's Spider-Man universe, guys.
Spider-Man, right?
And they were gonna,
So that's a perfect segue to what Nick was talking about, because he was talking about, and Matt was kind of saying the same thing, like the originality of it. It's one thing if you have access to comic lines that have been around for 70 years or plus, but it's another thing if you're just trying to, and and DC caught a lot of crap for this too, though, albeit it was more justified. But to just, it's like they're just aping it.
Yeah,
You know,
so you're saying the DC movies are aping the Marvel movies?
Yeah, but then Sony with Spider-Man is even. It's like,
trying to build
it's like
out
even further,
trying to build out
removed,
a universe.
you know. And it's like,
Yeah.
well, you guys, why are you trying to do what they're doing? Why don't you just do something else with with your characters?
Well, I think the whole cinematic universe thing, it's more of what you're saying. It's like we need to build this into a running TV show.
Yeah,
You know, where every movie is like
another episode.
it's a movie, but it's like in this sort of like series. And because it's like no longer can things just be based on an existing IP. It has to be like in the same like canon.
It has to be tied.
Like, canon is such a weird, like, isn't that such a weird idea that it's like
yeah, Super
it's
weird.
made up, but all of these are like in the same universe of made up.
Right.
You know, like
Yeah.
Star Wars fans get like super hardcore about this, like about delineating between like,
Right.
you know, well, now they call it like legends and like the actual like canon universe. And they're like, well, that didn't actually happen. It's like, well, none of it actually happened. But yeah.
Hey guys, you might notice that it's Jake here, Brandy O'Daniel, without my mustache and beard. Now, how did this happen? Well, I trimmed myself up, I cleaned myself up, and I got ready for the new year, courtesy of today's sponsor, Manscaped. Let me tell you about the best body grooming products on the market. They got everything you might need just in time for the new year. First and foremost, they have the Ultra Premium Body Wash. Now, this body wash is infused with aloe vera and sea salt to keep your skin feeling clean, nice, and moisturized. They also have the Lawnmower 4.0. This is the 4th generation signature trimmer from Manscaped. It's got all sorts of bells and whistles on it. It's got a cutting-edge ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents thanks to their advanced skin-safe technology. Oh, and guess what? It's waterproof. It's the one company that's making a great product designed specifically for body and groin trimming. Don't go to the freaking pharmacy and get one of those janky ones for $30. Just go to Manscaped, get the thing that you actually need. It'll last you for a long time. It's worth the money. Trust me, you'll be better off for it. And the 2022 you will be better off for it. If you guys are interested, head on over to manscaped.com. Use the code CorridorCast to get 20% off plus free shipping. It's a great deal. So huge thanks to them for sponsoring. They've always been great. And now back to the podcast.
I don't know. It's a weird kind of thing. It's like TV, streaming, movies. It's all becoming one thing.
Yeah.
And I think we're seeing that with Disney Plus. You know, it's like with all the Star Wars shows and all the Marvel shows, they're just and I think honestly, like Disney Plus is a much better platform for comic book storylines because comic books are inherently serialized soap operas, right?
Yeah, the stuff that they've been putting out is very good. And I this is where it's like me and Nick kind of deviated in our opinions, and I don't necessarily agree with, because I think you can tell original stories through through a universe of characters that you are familiar with. Like the Loki show is super unique to me.
Oh, it's great.
It's great. I love that show so much, and it really tried new things and was a little bit risky with it because it subverted your expectations of what you thought a Loki show was going to be. Oh shit! Now they're in like this other world that we've never seen before, where you know there's these time cops. That's crazy. That's so cool.
Stylistically, it's very different.
Stylistically, super unique. Yeah.
And I think there's a lot more room to do that on Disney Plus because there's more time and this like the season to flesh out the characters and again we've seen it with like The Mandalorian is like a very different approach to what they're doing in the movies.
Yeah.
And more what people are looking for, like more of what the like hardcore Star Wars fans are looking for, and they have like they can just quarter off a section and do just that. You know, it doesn't have to be. Because if it's a movie that comes out in theaters, it has to check every box.
Got to do everything.
Yeah.
Got to get everyone.
But even with the big movies, the big Marvel movies, Guardians of the Galaxy, I thought the first one was like, it was also trying something pretty unique that we hadn't really seen before. And we weren't really familiar with those characters either. So it was you know,
Yeah.
kind of a departure from what we knew and
Yeah.
what was safe.
And it's funny because I'm making fun of Sony for like picking out these like obscure stories that nobody cares about, but Marvel has done, and like DC to an extent with Suicide Squad, but like picking out these like kind of off kilter sort of like C tier stories. Like Guardians of the Galaxy is like nobody cared about Guardians of the
sure,
Galaxy in
sure.
the comic books.
Yeah.
Like choosing that kind of stuff and just giving it to a filmmaker and being like, hey, here's like something that nobody cares about, so you can do whatever you want with it.
Yeah.
And that's where I think the originality will come in with these stories, is if it's like, you know, kind of, it doesn't have so much expectations and hype on it. Like this new Spider-Man movie, it has to hit certain things, you know? Like it's, Tobey Maguire has to show up.
Do you think it's going to
He's
do
got to
any
say,
of
with
that?
great power comes great responsibility.
Do you think it's going to do any of that?
What do you mean?
Like, is it going to hit any of those things that they think?
Oh,
It's
the
going
new
to?
Spider-Man movie?
Yeah. I
think so.
Yeah, it's gonna freaking, it's gonna, like Venom's gonna be in it. It's literally gonna have everything you think will be in it. I feel like they're gonna have to do. Because at this point,
I'm gonna cram that.
at this
thing.
point, if somebody says something, they can like just go like pull it up on the volume in Unreal Engine. Like call, hey Tom, you want to come in for like 5 seconds and like shoot this new scene where we got freaking, I don't know, Booster Gold in there or something. I don't know.
So none of this kills it for you. None of this like machining.
No,
this
like
refined machining, like a CNC cutter, just cutting out stories into like perfect
'Cause
blocks.
my thing is always like there's so many other stories happening right now, whether it's on streaming or whether like these movies. Sorry guys, they're for me. Like they're for freaking like they're like there for the people who were super into these old movies, and they're just gonna keep rolling it out. And it's, you know, that's the stuff that makes money in theaters. And it's, but
Yeah.
I think to say that like that's the death of originality, it's like, I think we like theaters only matter. Like theaters are just theme park rides now. They're not like they're not for like
The death of originality died in theaters a long time ago.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
In like tent pole Hollywood filmmaking, that's you know, that's out the door.
Right.
But there's you know, plenty of awesome stuff that's being made on a smaller scale. And I think it's so much more democratic
That's
now.
separate. That's separate from theater.
Yeah.
Yeah. We were talking about that in the last one too, and it's just like that they can't take any risk. Like it's just if you're going to do that theater model with the nationwide distribution and the 2 weeks of advertisement and the everything, like it's gotta be that, because that's the only thing that still makes that whole
and it gets
lumbering machine function.
You know, and as it gets more expensive, like it gets proven constantly that like you try something original and it's not gonna make the money that an Avengers movie is gonna make. And you know, you could say, hey, studio, why don't you take more of a risk?
Yeah.
But they're like, you know, we're spending hundreds of millions of dollars on these movies. We can't lose money on them.
No, yeah, that's what I was saying as well. Is it's that they make 3 bad ones, like the studio's gone.
Yeah.
It's like, nope,
Exactly.
you're done.
Even the superhero movies aren't a safe bet. Like they've lost tons of money on those movies. So yeah, it's just the theater model is, it just, I don't know, with so many entertainment
with
options
so much
available,
power comes so much responsibility.
yeah, exactly.
That's what we want to hear, Jake. Thank you. Thank
You're
you for that.
welcome. Yeah, I thought it'd be interesting to hear your take on that. Any other hot takes?
I didn't know you knew so much about.
Oh yeah, it's like that in Star Wars. It's definitely people. I just come out swinging with these. Freaking,
Yeah, I was like this the whole time.
But hot takes on like Hollywood?
No, on the superhero genre, whether it's like something that maybe an underserved character or a
Dude, get freaking Martian Manhunter out here, man.
Martian Manhunter. I don't even know what that is, son.
They snuck him into the Justice League movie.
Oh yeah.
He needs his own movie.
Manhunter.
They need to get another Green Lantern movie going. That one with Ryan Reynolds was absolute butt trash.
Yeah.
Is that the one Seth Rogen was in?
No.
Oh, that was Green Hornet.
Hornet.
Yeah.
You know
never
what's funny?
mind.
Taika Waititi plays the best friend, the director of all the new Thor movies.
Okay.
Is, like plays his best buddy in that movie.
In the
Green Lantern, yeah.
Green Lantern. Oh, wow.
All right. I got a few other questions.
All right.
Yeah, for all three of you, actually.
Ooh.
We were talking about lifestyle creep
Lifestyle
previous
creep.
to this. And it was in relation to Nicolas Cage and how he was able to go bankrupt, basically, after, everything he's done.
He speaking of comics, he bought the first issue of Action Comics.
Oh,
with
well,
Superman.
that's probably the
for
problem
like
right
$1 million.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
What?
The first issue of Superman for $1 million.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Now we know.
I mean,
These are the
somebody's
things
gotta
Nicolas
own it,
Cage
I
is
guess.
spending his money on.
Do you think you guys are relatively new to the Corridor crew and the history of Corridor?
Being adults.
Have you seen any quote unquote lifestyle creep happen in the studio as of recent? Like things that weren't around when you came in that are now around now.
And to be expected.
And are now
Yeah.
expected.
Yeah.
Look, I've already expressed my thoughts on corn dogs, so we can move past that.
No, I
We have 2 microwaves.
it's
You
nice
have too
to feel like we have, amenities and it's comfy.
Yeah.
Because like even when I first started, it was still like we were all sitting out here on our desks.
A little janky.
yeah. I was gonna say.
Do we have
Dean,
AC?
Dean, you and I definitely.
When did you start? What year? 2018?
We had
Beginning
that one.
of very beginning of 2019, I think.
20. Okay. Yeah, we had AC
We had
by
that
then.
one.
Okay,
We
had
had
AC.
just one though.
Yeah, we didn't
There was
have this
none back
bad boy.
here.
Yeah.
We didn't get this until the end of 2019.
Yeah, no. This was a steam room.
It was a steam room. It was an absolute
It
steam
used to
room.
be the bath.
Yeah.
You had guests in here.
We had guests in here. In fact, if you're a fan of this podcast, go watch the Logan Paul episode
Just
that Nico did with
sweating?
him, and you can tell how just hot
Oh,
both of
yeah.
them are.
God.
Just freaking steaming in there.
Oh my
But now we wear
God.
robes in here.
Now
We
we
can-
have to wear
it's
robes.
Actually, this
We
is
look like kings and
producing
queens.
its own climate, and I'm about to take it off.
Oh yeah,
It is
I'm
freaking
very
hot.
This is my own steam room in here.
Yeah, I know. I
Oh,
know.
this
Yeah,
is
we,
not- you guys know I'm always cold, so.
we brought
Yeah.
the steam room to our personal.
I'm getting kind
selves.
of hot too. I'm gonna take this sweatshirt off.
Yeah.
I would say
I'm the only one.
I do miss a little bit of the scrappy sort of
Yeah.
like early days, or at least early days of me being here,
Yeah.
because no, it's definitely more comfy, more like feels like
I don't miss
Company.
it.
Wait, what
I don't miss it at
scrappiness
all.
do you miss?
Yeah, let's
Tell
get
me.
into this. I
What's-
want to know the deets.
let me know the
because I don't see
scrappiness.
Felt,
my big thing for me is not losing scrappiness, but also
Right.
being but also being professional.
Yes, but I think it's an inherent balance and an inherent like trade-off
Right.
to get certain things.
I almost feel like they're the antithesis of one another.
Yeah, we lose the bullpen feel.
Right.
If you know what I mean.
Right, I do.
I just like everybody's right here. So it's like if something happens, we all share that moment immediately. Like somebody farts,
Somebody
Um,
jumps over a table and breaks their shoulder blade.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone's there to
Jesus.
witness it. But also at the same time, that does distract from work.
Exactly.
And,
Exactly.
And,
And
my
that's-
God, did that happen a lot when we were working down here. Yeah, I mean,
It was getting really hard to get anything done.
Yeah.
Yeah, because something was always filming.
Yeah.
And you're at your desk, like somebody screaming behind you.
Yeah.
like literally,
yeah, like-
screaming.
Yeah, Ren specifically is screaming behind you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right behind you.
You're right behind you.
Yeah.
Right behind you.
And like at React episodes, we would all be working behind when
Yeah.
we were shooting
Oh,
React
yeah.
episodes.
First 30 or 40
yeah.
episodes, it's just Griffin in the background.
No, I'm like the first couple
Everyone is.
episodes, I am in the back, like just
Oh, yeah, because
just
you're right there.
freaking because
Yeah.
I
You were
was
on that-
I was on that wall
Almost like
at
the
when I first got
alleyway.
here, I think.
Yeah.
The like the jank desk
Yeah.
before I got my own desk.
Yeah.
I was like, that was my hazing.
I bought that desk for $10 at the thrift store across the street.
Oh wait, and then when I got here, I used that desk.
Yeah, you got the haze desk.
I got
Yeah.
the haze desk,
The brown one on the
the
wheels.
brown one on the
The
wheels.
Yeah.
wheels.
Nick
Yeah.
had that one too before you, and Carmichael had it before him.
Oh, wow.
tradition.
A lineage of a shitty desk.
But see, now these new cats come in, man. They
Yeah,
get their big
dude.
desk.
They got their RTX
That's what I'm
3090s.
That's what I'm worried about.
I
That's what
don't
I'm
know.
worried about. I
Is it-
legit have concerns about
But
this.
I think
don't know if you
we
should.
get romantic about it. Because honestly, I'll say this. When I first started, having had watched the videos back in the day, I had romanticized late nights
Yeah.
in my mind.
Right.
Because I was like we're all going to be
Yeah.
we're all part of this thing. And
yeah.
as soon as I started doing that consistently, I was like, I am so tired. And I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah.
And I one time I slept back here when it was in the steam room era.
The steam room.
And it was more of that vibe when we were all down here.
Yeah.
And it is nice. There's more balance.
I spent
now.
a week down
Yeah,
here
you can
once.
breathe.
Oh my God.
And it wasn't that long ago.
Never leaving.
Well, leaving to go out into the floor to work.
Were you did you?
Oh, you had
When we
moved?
renovated the studio upstairs,
Oh, right.
Mm.
there was I had a bed up there.
Yeah.
But then I set it up, and then I was waiting for the renovations to start, and Nico had already moved out, so I was living up there when I wasn't working.
Yeah.
And then he moved out, and then we started renovations, and then I showed up to stay here for the week, and I went upstairs to Studio 3, and it was completely gutted. And I went into the bathroom by the main floor, and the shower was ripped out, and I turned on the light, and there's like roaches on the floor,
Oh.
you know, because they live in the walls.
Yeah, they do.
And so they were just out. And then I went into the back room, and it's just like sheetrock torn out, and there's sheetrock dust on everything, and none of the electricity worked. And I go, well, I guess I'm sleeping in the podcast room.
Yeah. Oh, dude.
Bought some
That-
fans.
There's another thing. This has for some reason, as we've grown, there's been less cockroaches. I don't know what that has to do
Well, we
with.
did
This is
seal.
less.
Oh, it's sealed.
We sealed upstairs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
You
that's
still
what that
see a
spray
couple.
foam is with all the faces on it.
And
That's what
there's
it's
another
for.
thing you could romanticize. Is like I miss chasing around cockroaches.
Right, but
with
do you
a
think?
shoe.
Do
Okay,
you
this
really?
is legit though.
Do you?
Do you think like if so that there's this new kid upstairs, right? And he's like, we're prospecting him. It's like, see what you got, kid. It's like, if he doesn't go through that, do you think he's gonna like?
Oh yes, I don't think.
Do you think he's gonna have the same soul?
I think what is great about this environment is that a lot of the people who have come in were fans, or were people who loved the content. So, for us, it was definitely coming in, regardless of what the environment was. I was like, I'm all in, because I, just growing up watching this stuff. So it's definitely like, it gives you like a little bit of more, I don't know, toughness with, I don't know. Yeah,
I think it does. I mean, Jordan, the costume room. It's a rite of passage.
I had no idea what was
Right.
going on. I was like, I can't do this forever. but it just keeps getting a mess. I was like, I guess I am going to do this forever. I mean, yeah, I guess everyone has their own things, their rite of passage when you come here. But then again, like new rite of passages will occur. Like the more we grow, the more like there's going to be different things to be done.
Yeah.
So every time someone new comes, they're going to be doing something that no one else has ever even done, because now there's like
The
new
low man work.
job. Yeah. There's always something
Dude.
new.
Did you have, when you first got here, did you have to do the metadata for the videos?
No.
Oh, I did.
did.
I did
too.
I don't know
That
how
was
many
first
times I
week,
probably
was
just
like-
fell
I
asleep
was
in
like,
front of
I thought I was gonna be editing videos, and I was sitting here like putting in.
I didn't even know what metadata was before I started working
Yeah.
here. Oh
Yeah.
man, I'm learning it over Discord too.
Yeah.
I didn't even
'Cause it
like
was the
meet half
pandemic.
of you guys
Yeah.
before, and I'm on Discord like, hi.
Yeah. I did some of the node metadata.
Yeah.
That was about it.
Oh, because
Yeah.
you were like Node.
I
for a
did
minute.
node for a bit. Yeah. For quite a
Strictly
bit.
Node.
When Jordan
for-
started, she had to go through every video
Yeah.
we've ever made.
So
And
she
Christian, yeah.
so she made it through the whole because I did some, but I definitely didn't do all of
Jordan
them.
went through every
I think at this point I've been through all.
video.
That's respect. That's
Yeah,
respect for
whether
sure.
it's
Mad respect.
thumbnails or going from YouTube to the website, metadata.
Yeah, so for people who don't know, that's like it's literally like the description, like fixing the description of every old video.
There's no automated process for this.
Yeah.
Still.
Yeah, to this day, it's just you scroll through your uploaded videos, you sort by oldest.
Right.
You start at the
And you
oldest
just start
one,
and you just keep
and you bring
going.
in like because we have the stuff that we put in the description, so you add like the new formatting, copy paste.
Mhm.
You put in what was this video about? Oh, this was Sam and Nico were having a good time, and then you go to the next one.
Arrow, check out our new merch.
For weeks. It took
Arrow.
you weeks.
It-
So it's like we have she's getting heart
flashback.
palpitations just thinking about it.
PTSD from that. So yeah,
Jesus.
that's the back-breaking labor that we do here. Is it Control V? So yeah,
Finger breaking.
so yeah. If those were the days where we were getting humbled by hitting Control V.
If my great
I say good
grandparents who were iron ore miners heard me talking that way about labor, they would, I don't know what they would do. Wouldn't be good.
roll over
Yeah.
in their grave.
Yeah. That's why I don't talk about it like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I'll say this though. I'll say that I think there's still a level of like scrappiness and love of filmmaking that you put into really hard work. Because of course it's still there when you're really passionate about a project here. It's like, for example, the doing late nights on the Spider-Man rated R video was something that I really wanted to do because I wanted it to be as good as possible.
yeah.
So those late nights felt really like fun and invigorating in a way that isn't like a day-to-day thing. But when it happens, it's like, fuck yeah, I'll stay until 2-3 in the morning to get this done because it's something that I believe in,
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I think that's always going to be present with any of this content that we make if it's something that we believe in.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think a certain amount of that is healthy. Like it's the sugar in the food pyramid, like you got to have a little bit of that because that, I don't know. I've been there so many times as well. Like yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to like care about your work enough to do that every once in a while.
Yeah.
Right.
Even if we are starting to become more of a company rather than just like a group of like filmmakers, it's like it still is a group of filmmakers like
Mhm.
inherently, and I don't think that is going anywhere. So as long as we have that, I think like everybody's still gonna be like
Sam and I's phrase for the company culture at Corridor Digital used to be "fuck the man."
We are the man now.
Well, that's my concern, man. I don't know.
no, it's
I
still
don't want to become that.
Well, you got to have the structure still.
Yeah, but
it
everyone
seems like
has
you
the
guys find a good
structures.
balance with it.
Yeah.
I hope so.
Every production needs structure.
Yeah.
SAG.
Damn right. How
You
does
go
it
in
function?
SAG
Yeah.
production,
How does it function
with
without
great
it?
power comes great responsibility.
Yes. How many more times can we say it?
Spider-Man's
Probably
on
a
the
few
thumbnail.
more.
A few more at least. We'll get it
Yeah.
in there.
It'll never be as good as when
All right, so
Put that in the metadata.
so
Toad
back to
says
the lifestyle creep thing.
Are you talking about our lifestyles or the lifestyle of the studio?
Studio lifestyle.
Studio
Well,
lifestyle.
and our own lifestyles.
I would say big thing for me, and Jordan knows this. Snacks.
Oh,
like,
we know all
ruined
about
my,
this.
that's
has
where I'm going
ruined
with this.
my life.
That's where I'm going
Dude,
with this.
my life is ruined.
He's not happy about the snacks.
I have no.
The looks he gives me while he's elbow deep in Sour
Elbow
Patch
deep.
Kids.
Dude,
It's
it's
not,
like it's your
massive-
fault.
it's not pretty.
I
Yeah.
have zero willpower when it comes to sugar, and like I will get mad at my girlfriend if she brings home like
Sugar.
sweets, like because her mom like will give her like all these Mexican candies when she comes home, and then she'll come home with them, and I'll be like, throw those out. Like I will eat them all tonight.
I saw you snagging on some Starburst earlier.
Every
yeah.
time. Every time I
every
walk through
time.
the kitchen, he's there.
And it's like, so now it's like, it used to be, we had a water cooler when I started here. Like I get my water and I go back to my desk. Now
Yeah.
I get my water and there's a cornucopia of sweets and treats, and I like, it's just there for the taking, and like,
Somebody's got to do it.
yeah, I like,
Somebody's got to eat them snacks.
yeah, like, you might have this mentality too, Jake. Like my grandma, if I didn't eat my whole meal,
Right.
she'd be like,
Right. What's wrong with you?
sit down,
Yeah.
eat the whole meal.
Yeah.
And if I see free food, I'm gonna eat all of the food. So it's just,
There may not be any free snacks again.
yeah.
Gotta eat them all now.
No, that's the mentality. I'm like, there's free candy here now.
That's a wolf's mentality.
Yeah. Well, you know,
It's I gotta scarf all this now.
yeah.
So it's gonna sit in my belly.
And I have zero willpower. Luckily, I'm still a young lad, and I have metabolism, but that's quickly going away. So
I get healthy options, though. I do. There's
trail mix.
Yeah,
there's
there's
beef
fruit.
jerky.
but there's
We have
still
grapes.
other options. And
grapes.
there's a
People.
thing.
Grapes.
Much less tastier.
There's a
options.
thing. Steve Jobs, he wore the same thing every day,
Mm.
and the idea was
Is that because he was a psychopath or because he was?
It's maybe a little bit of
Both.
that, but it was because there's an idea that
It was a joke.
willpower is not something that you just brute force. It's actually, if you set up your life in such a way that you don't have to make certain decisions,
Yeah.
you have more willpower. Think of it like you have a willpower bar,
Right.
right?
Mhm.
And so like if you want to work out in the morning and you lay out your workout clothes the night before, you're going to be more likely to go work out. If I at the grocery store don't buy sweets, I'm not going to eat them when I'm home.
That's wise.
It's
But,
true.
That's
you know,
very wise.
We have them in the studio, and I have zero willpower.
Yeah, I'm never gonna stop.
That's a good thought, though. I like that. I'm gonna think about that a little bit more because it's true. Like if you set your life up in such a way, then the things that are hard for you become less hard.
Yeah, this is something Daniel and I share. We both wear the same thing every day, and it's like that's why I brought up Steve Jobs, is
Yeah.
because Steve Jobs wore the same thing every day, and that was the idea. Is you option paralysis, I believe is the phrase. So you don't have option paralysis. You go to the grocery store and there's 40 brands of cereals. You're gonna stand there forever. If there
Yeah.
were just 3 options, you would just grab one and go.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
We
Yeah.
literally have like 8 options up in the kitchen right
When
now.
did?
Yeah.
Can I ask a serious
more than
question, Jordan? When did the corn dogs come into the picture?
We really just want to
I-
pick apart the corn dog.
I want to know about
situation.
this because that wasn't. How did that happen?
It's because I was going to Ralph's this whole time.
Yeah.
I ended up going to Smart and Final one day.
Yeah.
I ended up realizing how much cheaper Smart and Final was.
Oh,
I
yeah,
was
yeah.
like 50, 60
Good call.
under budget. And
It's
I
like
was,
the dollar store of grocery stores.
and I'm getting like the same stuff.
Yeah.
So then I went back the next time and I was like, in my head, I was like, I have more room here. I said, what would these men want to eat?
Right. These-
Burritos, corn dogs, something that you can just into
Yeah.
the microwave, into the oven.
Right. Corn
I don't
dogs.
know. It was there. It was just in the freezer looking at me.
So Ren didn't ask you to get corn dogs.
No, he was very excited when he
He
saw
was
that.
excited about
He
it.
he had
Little
I
Billy.
believe he had
Little
3
Billy's
in
corn
like
dogs.
30 minutes.
Yeah, I kept seeing him go back for more.
Yeah, he was
he
very.
wasn't. The one wasn't enough.
And then last Friday, Griffin took a corn dog, heated that up, took a burrito,
No, is he
and then
doing one
put
of
No,
the
he did
co-
not.
He's so
it was never
gross.
on camera.
He's so
he did.
It wasn't on camera.
That's so gross.
He just did it on his own.
Griffin.
And I caught him, and he was.
He's a savage. He's a
He's an absolute
Yeah.
animal.
I feel like I don't even know him
Cro-Magnon
anymore.
man.
And
like
I
I
mean,
don't
part of
even
it
know
is
him
all my
anymore.
fault. I am literally buying the
See,
concoctions that he's making.
You're putting him. Yeah, you're putting an environment around him of horrible.
But no
decisions.
rational person would think that you put a corn dog inside of a burrito.
He did it.
I'm just
I mean,
imagining it. How do you do
probably
it?
pretty
You
good.
gotta
He
open it up.
He opened up the burrito.
You gotta open it up. Put the corn dog in it. Wrap it around.
Pull the stick out.
Pull the stick.
There's
well,
so many layers.
use the stick
the stick.
to force the corn dog
He
into
used
the
stick.
burrito.
Right.
maybe it's ingenious.
I mean, this is coming from a man who has a dish that he's self-termed a griff pile.
A griff file.
It
Yes.
smell like I can smell it, dude, when he
Yeah.
walks in with it.
Yeah, and Griffin's soggy cup as well.
Soggy cup.
Is that a real thing?
I like the
or did he
soggy
just
cup.
do that for the video?
You like no
No, I do like the soggy cup.
Jordan likes the soggy cup.
He made me one.
so
I had
gross.
to.
I don't know if I can get behind
just-
it. but-
it's-
It's like chips
It's-
and water.
It's
No.
it's like salsa water.
No.
Yeah,
it's just salsa.
No, dude, don't hate on the soggy cup.
Now,
It's like-
don't disrespect the
Doritos,
soggy
It's
cup.
like a
cheese and
bowl of
salsa.
cereal. If
That's
like
Doritos and salsa?
and cheese.
They're already salsed.
So,
It's already sauced up.
but
No.
it's like a bowl of cereal, but with like the condiments of a nacho.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's like the
yeah.
salsa is the milk, the chips are the cereal. You know,
Mhm.
cheese is like the marshmallow.
Cheese is the
the
marshmallows.
jalapenos are the marshmallows.
These
Yeah,
are my
okay.
concerns.
It's the cheese and salsa. Is
Yeah, no, we're degenerating.
We're degenerating.
We're,
Yeah.
we're
We're
probably all
taking-
10
we're
pounds
taking
heavier.
2 steps forward, 1 step back here.
Yeah.
Yeah, in a way.
We get more work done because you don't have to leave to go get food.
That
But
is
we are getting
helpful.
fat.
Yeah.
That is helpful because
Yeah.
I used to have to walk down to the end of the street to get a burrito.
Yeah.
Now I just grab one of those frozen meals.
Mm-hmm.
I pop it in
Yeah.
the
Those are
microwave.
nice.
We have an air fryer, for God's sake.
Oh,
There is an air fryer
Yeah.
in the.
Now we're getting a little too fancy.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Where is the line?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Where is the line?
Who knows what I'll be
My
installing in there
grandfather
next?
used to fry his own air.
Is the personal chef the line? Is that too far?
Personal
Right.
chef would be.
You know, no, I've walked in
See,
this
you
morning.
want it.
There
Look
are,
at
No,
you.
I'll do it.
like I walked in this
Yeah.
morning and there were we have a griddle now.
By the way.
There were pieces of bacon sizzling on there.
Oh, but we do have a breakfast club if you'd like to
I
join.
did get
It's
bacon.
ridiculous.
We're gonna.
did
I remember I had
Yeah,
to,
it's-
I used to
there's
have
The
a-
to
sizzling bacon was amazing.
It
though.
would it just the aroma.
Yeah.
It just
Right.
gets you
Come
started.
on, what's wrong with that? That's fresh food right there. They don't know frozen BS.
No.
I remember I used to have to walk over to Clint's desk and beg him for a piece of his protein cookie.
Mhm.
You guys,
I used
they
to
have
have
it
to.
too
Could
good.
I have just
I
a-
used to have to wait until
just a crumb.
freaking Mario showed up with the taco truck just
Oh,
to
yeah.
get lunch.
Oh, yeah.
1:45 every
Yeah.
day.
Mm.
You actually, so we've destroyed a business
First of all, they're still around. They don't
Yeah,
come
no.
down the street anymore though.
No.
They
because
don't.
they know. They can smell
They can
Griff's
smell-
pile,
I
man.
can smell the bacon coming out.
They are across from Big Bear though in the mornings.
That's true.
Yeah.
And in the evenings, I think.
Yeah. Every time I
Oh.
get here on Monday morning and I go to Big Bear,
Mm-hmm.
get my coffee.
Yeah.
They're right there.
Here's my pitch: lose all the snacks,
Get all
little
the food.
little catering from them.
See, that's so inconvenient though.
That is
Uh,
inconvenient.
We
you
want
know?
the snack.
The snacks have longevity, you know?
I like getting up from my desk, grabbing a goldfish every once in a while,
Mm-hmm.
going back.
Yeah.
You know,
The only time we used to have goldfish around here was after a production.
after crafty.
And
True.
then Nico would steal half the box and he'd put it on his desk.
Yeah, and like take ownership.
Yeah,
of it.
and then he'd take ownership of
Yeah.
it.
It's
But
like, what
that's
are you doing?
also why I've
territorial.
realized who likes what, and I get that specific stuff in the kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
I know what Sam likes, beef
Right.
jerky. I
Right.
know what Nico
Also
likes,
like the beef
blueberry
jerky.
Pop-Tarts, one at a time. He leaves half the bag open every time.
Does he really?
Every time.
That's
Yes.
such a Nico thing.
Yeah.
Sam opens the Pop-Tart box and goes, "What animal has done this?" And he goes, "I just want one."
Savage.
What else have you noticed, Jordan? Around the office?
Ooh.
What
What do
are
you
their
like?
habits?
He can't eat dairy, so I have to get snacks that don't have dairy in
Is
it.
that where the almond milk came from?
I mean, almond milk is
Well,
just better
honestly,
for
a
you.
bunch of us like the almond milk.
Almond milk is better for you.
Then
I would
regular
say-
milk?
How do you even
I
mean
would
by
say
that?
70%
of
How
people
is
in
it
the
better
studio-
for you?
I don't think it's good to drink milk.
Milk is great.
What's wrong with
You
It's
drink
good
milk?
for you. I switch it up. We get the almond milk at home. We get the
Yeah.
But I've actually started
It's just-
getting back into whole milk.
Really?
Like you drink it after, and this is the thing. My mom's a vegan, and she there's like a plant-based burger place that opened near us, and she visited and she tried it. And she's like, "These burgers are so good." I took a bite and I was like, "This is the worst thing I've ever tasted." And it's the same thing with like plant milks. You drink it for a while and you're like, "This is great," and then you drink milk and you're like, "This is so much better."
I can't really stand
Right.
the taste of milk anymore. If my latte is accidentally
Yeah.
made with milk,
Agreed. I don't.
I'm like, I can't do it.
I
It
know right
just-
away.
That's
for
so
other
interesting
It's like
because
coating my
bunch of
throat.
Angelinos.
we go through. Well, I have 3 kids, and we're just going through milk all the time.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
it's no stopping it,
No stopping it.
and it's just gallon
Doesn't
after
it cause
gallon
the
after
sniffles?
gallon.
Cause a little mucus.
Does it?
Doesn't.
Actually,
When they have the sniffles, we don't give it to them because it makes it worse. But
That's what
there's
I'm
certain
saying.
kinds of milk that are better for your allergies, but that's actually very controversial because you can also get a bunch of diseases.
like raw milk?
Like raw milk,
yeah.
So that's the gambit.
Unpasteurized.
Is like you can, and maybe this is a great metaphor for the studio. It's like you could, drink raw milk,
Right.
and you could,
Well, you usually boil
really
raw
bolster
milk.
your immune system, but
you
you could
fix it
also get
somehow.
like some kind of rare parasitic disease.
Yeah.
That's like my
Or
pressed
you could
juice.
drink
Like mad
skim
cow.
milk, right? This is, we're moving towards skim milk.
Right.
And you're safe. You don't get any allergies.
right.
But are you really living?
That's what I'm saying. That's why you go for the vitamin D whole milk.
Yeah, that's the good middle ground. I
Yeah.
think we're right
So I
now.
need to have milk too.
No, I don't need milk.
You-
The only
you-
reason, the only
He's not
time
asking for milk. This is a metaphor.
No, this is just the whole reason why I want to do this podcast is just so I could ask Jordan without asking her to get milk. No,
I got the half and half.
no, I don't need the only reason I drink milk now is because I have it with Oreos and we give it to our kids, and then I'll have a glass of it like when I have an Oreo.
So I need to
But-
get Oreos.
We don't need it. We don't need Oreos.
No more.
But the half and half is a real thing. The half and half is a
Okay.
real thing.
It
On
goes
the
with this
coffee,
He said that the vanilla creamer and all that ruins the coffee.
it does. There's no doubt about it.
I wouldn't know.
Oh yeah,
Not a
the
coffee
tea.
guy.
Tea guy.
Oh, you're a tea guy.
But if you have a
A
matcha
tea,
latte,
more like a tea, gentleman.
Ah.
if you will.
Tea gent.
A gent.
Oh,
And
yeah,
that
the crew
actually
cuts
Is that
episode.
because you're from the East Coast?
No, I This is gonna sound so pretentious, but I went to Japan
Ever heard of it?
and I tried matcha there, and I was like, I'm really into this.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
saw your
oolong is
breakdown.
so good.
Yeah,
Honestly, it's very
Matt's
good.
a tea boy as
I'm
well.
a tea
now.
boy. I love the
Really?
tea that he brings. Yeah, I gotta get a pack of whatever the stuff that you bought.
you were drinking like 1 ounce at a time though, and it was really
But
irritating
that's-
me.
Yeah,
See
the
how
tiny
He
cups.
would come back to
That
his desk
is
like this,
Yeah, they're
and then he would
Refined,
leave in 10
Jordan,
minutes and go boil more.
Refined.
It would-
refined.
like, you would have been
Pulling out
irritated.
every single tannin, every single
Why
flavor.
was the cup so small? That's not even
I bought
enjoyable
a tiny
at that
cup. It
point.
was smaller
See, you
than I
guys,
expected.
you buy your freaking McDonald's coffee. You
Who are you
slurp
talking
it
to?
down.
buy
I
McDonald's
don't go by.
coffee.
That's Nico.
I drink Black Rifle coffee.
That's true. You do drink black.
And Pete's.
I will. Yeah, Black Rifle coffee, very good.
It's
Good
good
coffee.
coffee.
Like good coffee is good,
Yeah.
but it just tastes like coffee. Like
Yeah.
teas, you have so many
You
different
have different
options.
variations, but you do have different variations of coffee, and where it's grown, how it's roasted,
But it
how
still
you
tastes
decide
like
to
coffee.
make it.
But like
that matters a lot.
Mhm.
Whole
Matters a
bean.
lot.
It does matter.
ground.
there's like 5 or 6 different categories of tea, and they all taste completely different.
I was roasting my own
very
coffee
true.
for a while. I should get back into that.
Yeah, sounds pretty cool.
Yeah. It's kind of
Yeah.
fun.
But did you have the thing that you sort of roll?
It's automated.
Oh,
it's like
okay.
an oven. It's like a little it's like a panini oven,
Oh, okay.
but it's for coffee. It's got a little roller inside of it and it keeps it going and then your
'Cause-
whole house smells like
No
fresh
way.
coffee.
That
So
Like,
sounds
yeah,
when
like
you buy
amazing.
like roasted beans,
certain kind of smell. It smells so good.
when you buy roasted beans in a bag, how long ago were they roasted? Do you like usually?
I don't know, but it's not that long.
Oh, okay.
It's usually, less than a week or two.
Oh, okay.
At least, from BRCC. I don't know about like Folgers
Yeah.
Yeah.
or whatever, but
Freaking Domino's.
Because you're in
Right.
there just already grounded.
Dunkin' Donuts. Domino's coffee.
And it's
dude.
just acidic.
well, BRCC only has 2 roasters. They have one in Salt Lake and they have one in Tennessee. And
Oh, so they have like a whole facility where they roast it.
oh yeah.
Oh, that's crazy.
Oh, they have, yeah. And then those roasters, you have to like custom make them.
That's wild.
I saw one of them doing it in a pan in the field.
Oh yeah, you can do that.
Which is
Evan was
Super.
doing that.
That's like
yeah.
the freaking most hardcore way to
Yeah,
make
it's
some
actually
coffee
not that
Cool.
hard.
No,
It's
like
just-
like
hardcore, like,
popcorn.
just freaking
Oh,
raw.
yeah.
Yeah, it's
Throw the kernels
badass.
down.
You throw
Sounds
it,
awesome.
You throw it on the fire and it's
Hell
and
yeah.
you wait until it starts doing that second crack.
Oh,
It's got 2 cracks. Coffee has 2 cracks when it roasts. The first
Oh,
one
that's like
usually after
popcorn.
about 10 or 15 minutes at the right 10 minutes at the right temperature, and then it'll start popping, and then it'll kind of be it'll stop, and then there'll be like a minute or 2 where you don't hear much, and then it'll start popping again. That's the second pop, and so right in the middle, into that second pop is where you get flavor, and then after you get most of the beans into the second pop, then it just becomes like burnt coffee,
Dark roast.
Yeah, that's what they call it. That's what dark roast is. But dark roast, the reason why like Starbucks, even their medium pikes plate, or even their medium roasts are dark still, because it's way easier to control.
Yeah, you don't have to be
the
precise.
flavor. Yeah, you can't get medium roasts that are consistent as often at that quantity as you can with a dark roast, because you basically just take the flavor out of it.
Well, it's the same thing with tea, at least in the steeping process. Is like, you know, if you like a tea bag, you just leave it in your cup of water and then you like drink it later at some point.
Right.
But like with like more traditional like Chinese ways of making tea, like you know, it's precise temperatures, you put it in, you like wait a certain amount of time and then pour it out, and you do like different levels of steeping as the leaves get more like you know, engorged with water. And yeah, no, I love getting in all that stuff. And
Isn't it a myth that the darker the roast, the stronger the coffee?
Yes.
Yeah, everyone said they'll want dark roast because they think it's going to be more caffeine.
That has nothing to do with it. It has everything to do with the bean itself.
yeah, because it's not like you're just
Coffee's
anything to
coffee.
do with
The bean,
caffeine
different
content.
types of beans have different caffeine levels.
yeah.
Okay.
And the main bean is the Arabica bean, and then there's another one, I can't remember its name. But the Arabica bean, the dark roasted Arabica bean, is like what most people think of when they think of coffee.
Did you know the main strain of coffee in the Americas is all descended from one plant? From
Really?
I think it was Louis the 14th or something. He had a single coffee plant.
I did know this.
Because it basically it was like very much controlled by like Arab traders in the Middle East, and they didn't want anybody to get these plants because they had a monopoly on coffee. But like the king of France had one plant, and there was this dude who hired a courtesan to like sneak in and steal the plant. And then this guy took it in a glass vessel across, you know, the Atlantic Ocean, and literally like had to give it like they had to ration water on the ship, and he had to give it some of his water to keep it alive.
Yeah.
And that single plant, I mean, it's just a story, but like that single plant is apparently all of like, you know, Colombian
really hope
coffee,
this
like everything in the
true.
Americas
Wow.
is like,
This is a good
I've
movie,
heard this
first of all.
story.
yeah, that's
The coffee movie,
just
yeah.
him
Just
feeding the plant.
sneaking out of
That'd be great.
some middle-aged Arabian like castle with like just a single
The dead of
coffee.
night
Yeah,
where
it's
there's
like
one
the rose
plant.
in the glass.
Like, who
Beauty
goes
and the
there?
Beast.
Yeah,
The
Yeah.
coffee bean like falls out.
totally. Yeah. Did you know that I was reading a book on the history of Texas, and 3/5 of all value of agriculture
Mhm.
produced comes from like plants that were original agriculture of the Native Americans
Just in Texas or in
in the US. And I don't know if it's globally. I believe it was globally in the 20th century, like the amount of value of the agricultural goods produced.
It's so funny.
3/5 of that came from plants that were original Native American plants, or that they originally cultivated.
For some reason, I had Googled that the other day,
Oh, really?
and like the list was like, you know, the stuff you expect, like squash,
Yeah.
you know,
But tobacco, cotton, corn,
corn,
beans.
but also
Potatoes.
tomatoes, and potatoes.
Yeah.
So tomatoes was the big one I didn't know, and like, so you think about it, that's, you know, Europeans get here 1500s. What were Italians eating before 1500? They didn't have tomatoes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They can't eat
Bread.
things.
They
without
just
tomatoes.
bread.
They just
All
bread.
of
Just
it's
freaking
grain, I
bread.
guess.
Yeah.
Bread with some salt on it.
Yeah.
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 Fruit.
I wonder if they figured out pasta before tomatoes.
Yeah, like what would
You
they
know?
put on it? I guess you could make some.
What do you do
Put
without
butter and
tomatoes?
cheese
Some
on it,
butter
I
some
guess.
noodle.
rosemary, I guess.
They're interesting.
And then Irish people, you know,
Yeah.
they're just eating dirt, I guess.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Dirty potatoes.
I can say I'm Irish.
You can say that. Yeah, you're right. You don't want to offend any Irish people.
They've already been offended enough. It's okay.
Oh man.
But yeah, and we were just talking about this with Thanksgiving. It's interesting with Thanksgiving. You don't really think about this a lot, but a lot of those foods that we're eating.
Yeah,
obviously the holiday
the
is-
whole idea of the meal and like what goes into it is
Yeah.
all like a a banquet of these
Indigenous foods,
which is pretty cool, I think.
Yeah, and it's like I think it's worth. I think Daniel in his Crew Cuts video kind of put this succinctly, but I think it's a worthy, if we're trying to sort of move past certain like simplistic forms of viewing history or viewing these holidays, it's everything is in that holiday already to like pay homage and respect to indigenous people, because like we're already eating the foods. It's just you need to like think about that and respect that. And
yeah that's super important. I mean, it's not like it happened on its own. It's not, and that it's like that's part of this country.
I understand why we're here.
Yeah.
So
thank you for the history lesson. That was actually very
every once in a while I get to use my degree.
A lot. Yeah.
Speaking of history, here's another fun fact, random trivia from me. I know it's unsolicited. The Apaches, okay? The same word that they used when they referred to a man, they also referred to a warrior. They were the same word in the Apache language. Isn't that crazy? That blew my mind.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's like you weren't
like me.
You weren't a man. You weren't a man until you were also a warrior.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
You could be 30 and
Interesting.
a boy.
It was so like
it was
crucial.
so inherent in their culture.
Inherent. Yeah.
It was so much the same thing.
Wow.
It's wild.
Yeah.
Kind of blew my mind.
It's like the opposite of where we're at now.
That's why I'm worried about the weak times.
And it all comes back.
Because good times create soft people.
But we need a little bit of like coming back to the studio. You need a little bit of softness.
Of course. It can't be brutality.
Yeah.
It can't be
scalping people.
Right.
Yeah, we're modern people now.
You didn't release the video on time.
Walt F. is.
No, obviously. And that's obviously the counter argument. But it's not about either. It's about a balance, I think.
Yeah. In all things.
Yeah, you gotta find the things that keep you balanced. Otherwise, I don't know. I don't want to become Netflix. I don't want to become. No offense to Rooster Teeth, they're great, but that's not. I don't think that's the direction for us.
Yeah.
It's that small. You lose that small batch. That private reserve.
Yeah.
Yeah. That freaking GMO free content.
Right. Yeah. So
I'll hold off on the hot tub installation.
Let's hold off on that. I mean, we just got
sauna,
the dishwasher.
Though,
Come
like
on.
a sauna.
We're already like pretty close.
I'm sweating.
A sauna's not
Yeah.
a bad idea.
You're in a sauna right now.
Dude, I hit the sauna this morning, son.
Look, if you want to do a sauna, all we have to
steam
do is to podcast down here without the AC on.
Yeah.
A steam room's easy.
Dude, we don't change anything.
Steam room.
We don't change anything. We just get one of those coal boxes that you squeeze water on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we just steam it out in here, dude.
Just get a bunch of wood.
You just come in at lunch, you get your sauna in,
Get a steam in.
you get your heat shock proteins.
Is that too far? Probably. I think that's where the line is right there.
And then we get an ice bath.
Oh, the
That's
ice bath.
That's the hard,
Like, when-
Yeah.
that's how we get
When is
back to
quarter
I'm
like-
very familiar with
bougie.
ice baths. I used to
Yeah.
have
Do you
have
them
an
all
ice
the
bath?
time. No, but when I was
when you're running.
Yeah, when I was running, Notre Dame had like every facility under the sun, and yeah, every time after we ran, it was ice bath.
Dude,
Well,
I
hate an
I
ice
cold
bath.
shower every morning, son. It's
well,
the
do
best.
you?
Can't do it.
Hell yeah, dude.
I do. When I
Oh,
can't do a cold, I just do
brutal.
warm.
Like a little
Yeah,
I've been
man.
acting like a little-
lukewarm.
Yeah.
Nah, dude, you got to get that cold shower.
Man,
do you do that
it
at
does
night,
wake you
too?
up.
Yeah.
You do it at night as
No,
well?
night, it'll wake you up too much, I feel like.
Yeah.
It'll jolt you up.
I had to do that one time when my heat was broken at my place and I was in pain.
Dude,
was
But it
I
makes
love
you
it.
just get in and
I
get
love
out,
it,
though.
dude.
was
I
the
look forward
worst
to it.
experience of my life.
But how long do you stay in there?
forward to it.
Dude, how long do you stay in?
The one time I had
Like
Oh,
2-3 minutes.
Take my time. You know?
Take your
No,
time.
see,
I
that's
take
weird.
my time because you hit.
Do you
like,
take your time in the water, or you
In
like
the
stand next
cold
to
water.
the
Here's
water?
what happens. You get in.
Wash yourself
I have
and then
to
jump in
It
the
takes
water.
5 minutes to get in because you're hyping yourself up, and then you get in, and
don't
then
wanna
you just go, "This is what's happening," and then it's the best,
Right.
Because it feels warm.
But I just
after
Right.
that.
you just wash really fast and get out.
No, it's you deep breaths, and you just freaking
Yeah.
accept because it can't
Right.
hurt you.
Right.
You just accept.
No, that's true. There's a lot of value to that, just applicable to many aspects of life. But a lot of times people freak out, especially about pain or like doctors and stuff like that. And, you know, I always go, well, I'm not going to die from this. It's just cold water.
Yeah.
And it is good for you. It's good for your health.
Yeah.
Is it?
It brings discipline in the morning. Yeah, it actually helps with like colds in your immune system.
Does it?
They got freaking monks out there rolling around in the snow. you know?
As they
Dude.
do.
As they do, they roll around in the snow.
And they're like their insides. You take a like thermometer. They're hot. They're
Wow.
like you can make it colder. You know?
That's true. That's some
You
David
make ice
Blaine
colder.
shit.
Yeah.
Iceman Hoff.
Yeah. Wim
Yeah.
Hof, dude. That's where I started doing the cold showers from. This guy
Yeah.
Wim Hof.
Really?
He's just this
That's how I started,
crazy
too.
like, what is he like? Just Danish
He
guy.
just runs outside in the snow barefoot. And
Oh.
he's like, everyone, come on. And everyone's like
No.
trying.
Yeah. It's actually a beautiful story. He was like super distraught after losing his wife, and he was like, I have to find. He having all these existential questions, and he's just like, I just had this urge to like jump into a cold lake, and it like just from that point it like fixed everything.
Brought that
Yeah.
clarity.
He does all these yoga sessions outside in this ice. It's ice.
Yeah. He's
It's
all
not
these-
just like a little bit of snow.
Ice
like,
yoga.
in Texas. Like
Ice yoga.
ice yoga.
Wow.
Like
it's all about getting in touch with your body, you know.
Right.
Well,
Do
maybe
you think because we have
breathing.
it so good that we need to live those extremes to like be
Oh
normal?
yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Probably.
let's like counterbalance all the corn dogs with
To
a-
counterbalance
with
the
Like
corn
if
dog?
you want
Yeah.
a corn dog, you have to eat it in an ice bath.
yeah, like did you
Okay.
take a cold shower this morning? Well, you're not eating a corn dog.
yeah. Get in the
Sorry.
ice bath, son.
Yeah.
5 minutes in the ice bath,
I do think
or no dogs.
you
for
do
you.
need you do need to respect how efficient it is to get a corn dog in. I mean, think about that for a second.
It's very efficient.
All the animal has to be raised, all the parts, like all the
Or
Yeah.
like what it takes to make a
grain.
corn dog.
then you gotta then you gotta
They're massively produced.
slaughter it.
Yeah.
friggin' process the grain, put it all together.
And then they
the
throw that
stick,
sodium in there.
You gotta
You
get
gotta
a
sugar.
stick in
The
too.
all the
stick. Yeah.
ingredients, and you gotta
You get
you
the-
gotta freeze it.
Honestly, it's the stick for
And you
me.
gotta bring it to market. You gotta advertise it.
I don't know.
Bring it to
Do
market.
corn dogs even need
The stick-
advertising anymore?
The stick is
Yeah,
a
come
step
on.
too far for me. Like bread bread was invented to hold your food.
True.
And you need a stick to hold your bread now?
Yeah.
That's too far.
Do you
It's
think
more than
holding
bread.
food
It's a
came before
breading.
bread, or do you think bread happened and then they were like, "Hey, you can hold stuff with the bread"? What do you think came first?
I think it's kind of no, bread probably came first.
The bread came
Maybe.
first.
Well,
I
we definitely had food long before we had bread, though.
Yeah. But were you putting like a raw steak on a piece of bread?
No,
not?
you just eat
Probably
it.
not, yeah. Well, we developed our culinary sensibilities, and eventually that led us to also including our utensils inside
True.
of our
Inside like
Food.
pre-made, yeah.
pre-made inside of our food.
True.
Yeah.
I think this whole conversation is just leading to the whether or not the personal chef is the line that we've crossed with lifestyle creep.
Yeah.
What will I buy on the next grocery run?
I don't know.
I'm excited now.
Guys, if you have any thoughts on what Jordan should buy on the next grocery run, let us know your faves here
Yeah.
in the comments, and maybe we'll talk about them in a
Maybe
video.
I'll buy it.
Maybe Ren will eat 3 of them in less than 20 minutes.
That's a guarantee.
All right. Well, hey,
Bye.
thanks for coming on the cast, everybody. I hope that you guys are warm and
I'm sweating.
You are
Okay.
I
sweating.
feel so
But I
bad.
can't take it off.
I had to. I had no choice.
And here's to Originality, the death of Originality in the Marvel Universe.
That's a happy note to go on.
Happy note.
Here we go.
Mm.